Meanwhile, Donald Trump is picking a GOP congressman, Mick Mulvaney, to be his budget director. Now, that's an interesting choice because it's kind of what Ronald Reagan did back when he became president, choosing a congressman named David Stockman to be his budget director. Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin here, a member of the Trump transition team, and what value there might be in having someone who knows the process well, as apparently this congressman does, as apparently David Stockman did then. Very good to have you, Governor. You know, the rap against David Stockman from Reagan loyalists, he should have been taken out to the woodshed and kept there because he disavowed Reaganomics and really never won them over since. Do you know this congressman and whether he, too, would support big tax cuts? What do you think?
Well, I don't know him personally. He came in Congress right after I left, but I do know his reputation. He's a member of the Freedom Caucus. He's got a great background with degrees in international economics and law. He's been known to be a budget hawk, and I think he'll really shake things up, and that's what President-elect Donald Trump has talked about. It's not going to be business as usual. He's shaking things up, questioning the contracts on the F-35 and on Air Force One contracts. So I think he'll do a good job, and hopefully he'll help the president be able to repatriate some of the jobs back, make some of the cuts that we've talked about, whether it's a corporate income tax rate, corporate tax rate, that we have that have cost us jobs overseas.
Do you know, Governor, what the thinking is within Team Trump on tax cuts? Some have read that tentativeness about picking a budget hawk, as you said, in the case of the congressman, and Mitch McConnell's talk of late to say whatever tax cuts are proposed should be revenue neutral. Well, that immediately got people saying, well, these tax cuts might not be that big a deal after all. What do you think?
Well, I think President-elect Trump has talked about wanting to give the middle tax a tax break. He's talked about bringing jobs back to America. And if he does the things he's been talking about, which I think he will, then his theory is that we'll be able to grow the economy, grow revenue, be able to give people back some of their money and let them keep it in their pockets, and that way we'll be able to have some of the tax cuts he's been talking about.
All right, but for a lot of those energy guys in your fine state, Governor, and many of them, not all, but many in the top income gainers, are they not going to get a tax cut when all is said and done? They're going to get a lower rate, but maybe with deductions limited, they're not going to see much of a tax cut, if at all.
Well, I think what President-elect Trump has talked about is how can we help encourage investment and job opportunities. And once again, I think it goes back to looking at the corporate tax rate, how we can help create more jobs, opportunities. Certainly he has talked about the middle class and tax cuts there. But, you know, I think the rest of it's yet to be seen, but we know what he's talked about in his priorities, his first 100 days in office.
But you could live with that, the middle class getting the tax cut, not so much the upper class, as some of them might have hoped.
Well, I think what we have to do is look at the rules, regulations, things that impede the business and the industry CEOs from investing, making things easier to do business. He's talked a lot about that, looking at rules, regulations, looking at the EPA, looking at our different federal agencies, and I think that's where we're going to see some of the job growth, economic growth that'll help us provide some of these tax cuts the President-elect's been talking about.
You know what I've got here, Governor, if you'll indulge me, these electors who are being wooed and some of them forcibly pressured to change their votes and to peel off 37 electors from Donald Trump so that maybe they can throw this into the House, the Senate for the vice presidency, and so that Donald Trump doesn't get it. What do you think of that effort? The Hollywood stars who say that electors should vote their conscience, which would be unconscionable to vote for Donald Trump, and others who said because of this Russian presumed hacking in the last election, Donald Trump should not be the beneficiary. What do you say?
The election's over, and it was very clear how the people of America has voted. Donald Trump is going to be the President of the United States, along with Vice President Mike Pence. And we had our Electoral College vote certification this morning. It went very smoothly. We did have a few protesters that just want to throw the nation into chaos, and they have this dream that it might go to the House of Representatives and maybe there might be some change. But, you know, all of our Electoral College voters in Oklahoma voted the way they said they would by the popular vote, and that's what I anticipate the nation will do. But I think the election's just over, and we have a great democracy. We have a system that works. And we need to move on. We need to transition on into the president and his cabinet, and we got a lot of important problems and issues we need to be facing. You talked about the Russian ambassador being killed today. It's awful, tragic time, but we have serious fights against ISIS and those that want to threat our nation, threat our democracy. And those are some of the big issues we need to be facing. That, and certainly getting people back to work, creating a stronger, more vibrant national economy, addressing issues with Obamacare. I mean, there's a lot of things we need to be focusing on.
A lot on the table. Governor, thank you very much. Hope you have a Merry Christmas. Thank you again.